man is.
Exactly.
And we should identify him, and we should, within the confines of the NBA rules, prosecute him by banning him. He should not be allowed in the doors. Although some were saying, in fact, we're going to have our man Meta is going to join us here in it'd be the 11 Eastern hour of this show. We're obviously in the Pacific time now. But he's going to join us to talk about how he reacted, and I read a story with him this morning, and one of the things he said was, I want that guy back. You know, I want him to come back because I want him prosecuted within the letter of the NBA law.
Right.
You know, I need to read him the Riot Act.
Right.
So I don't want him to escape into the night, never to be seen again.
Right.
So I felt for Russ, and yet, how does the NBA fix this? Okay, so the first thing that could happen is, on each of the tunnels through which the players walk up and back, you just
close
need
it off.
No, you just need to have a security guard positioned at the top, upstairs on top of the tunnel. And the problem is, sight lines are important when you're selling tickets. You don't want a security guard in the way of a fan seat that you can charge a lot of money for.
You know, a lot of times the players walk up the tunnels, people hand things down to them, they sign it, they throw them their sweatbands, they throw them a towel.
It's very cool interaction.
Yes. You see they touch hands, they're like, hey, good. I mean, they don't do it as much now, obviously, Skip, because of COVID, but you know, pre-COVID, you walking up the tunnel and, you know, the players are slapping hands, and that was a cool thing. But one person...
It's a great part of the game experience for an NBA fan. You can literally reach out and touch.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And yet you could reach out and dump or throw, or you can do whatever you want from those, but you're going to have a security guard, like, quote unquote, 24 hours. You're going to have them up there because Russ left with, I think there was 10 minutes left in the game. So it wasn't at the end of the game, as we're talking about usually. It was fairly early in the fourth quarter. You need a guard up there to watch that they're protected as they walk up the tunnel.
Have a guard up there to watch grown people. To make sure they don't do childish ass things.
I got it. I also sense a new outpouring. We have all been trapped in our homes for God knows how long, over a year, right? We've been quarantined, and I'm feeling this sort of joyful freedom that everybody, as they go back to the arenas, and if you saw the end of the PGA tournament the other day, on 18, it was just a mob scene because the security got overwhelmed. And everybody is so happy. That's obviously outside. I saw very few masks, but everybody was free. And they were going crazy, and they probably had some beer, you know, a little too much beer over it's a long, hot day out there at Kiowa. And all of a sudden, they're just storming the Palace on 18, man. They're everywhere. And Phil Mickelson and his caddy and Brooks Koepka and his caddy got trapped in the mob scene. And especially Koepka, who just had his knee scoped. He's getting hit, and he said he got banged in the knee a couple of times. So this is, but it's like a joyful overreaction of people who are so happy to be free again.
Skip, and in that situation, Skip, they're not trying to disrespect these guys. They're just so happy. That was not, he was not happy that Russ was walking again. He did that out of disrespect. So in the golf situation, that's totally different. Now, I get it, you know, and I think a lot of that had to do with Phil, because Phil is still a fan favorite, and he was going to win. And so this is my opportunity to get close and touching.
And Koepka was the wrestling villain all day. Trust me on that. So,
exactly.
Okay, so they were pro Phil, and it looked like Phil had it wrapped up because he just hit his second shot right in the middle of the green on 18, so it's virtually over. Okay, he's going to have 3 putts to win the championship. Okay, so they were ecstatic. They were losing their minds. This is different, but the two greatest viewing experiences in sports are in a golf tournament where you can reach out and touch. You have great access. You can be anywhere. You can get right up to the shot making, you know, especially when they hit it in the rough. You can just get right up. You're within, you could reach out and grab his club as he's
even the tee box, Skip, the guys are, the people are right there.
Same for an NBA game, because especially if you pay for courtside, and I have sat at courtside for years and years at the press table, you can smell the smells. Not only the popcorn, you can about smell the sweat. And for a fan in the front row or the second row, you can see everything. You can hear the trash talk. Obviously, they're wearing tank tops and shorts, so it's right there. You feel like you're in the middle of the action, which brings us to the Knicks. It's been years since they've even been in the playoffs, And again, New York is starting to feel free again, and it was the original target of COVID. COVID hit the hardest in New York first, it felt like, right?
It did.
And all of a sudden, everybody's out, they're walking Madison Avenue again, and they're going to the Garden. And it was fairly packed last night. A lot of people did have on masks. Spike Lee had on a mask. But they were just blissful that their Knicks have a chance. They look like they got a real chance of beating the Hawks. It's probably going to go 7 games.
Yes.
Okay. And they're actually in the arena again, and it feels great. But now we get a guy who had on a Knicks shirt, and it looks like he's in the second row.
Right.
And all of a sudden, as little Trae Young is inbounding the basketball, he winds up and spits over the shoulder of a woman who flinches in the front row.
You saw that too,
huh? She could see it, yeah. And I don't think Trae knew what happened because it's just spit from behind and it landed. I assume it hit him in the back of the shoulder or on the back of the arm. Okay?
Jesus.
Ultimate act of disrespect. You're amped up, you're fueled up, and you lose your mind and go completely over the edge. Well, this is the one that I don't know how to fix. You're either going to sell courtside or you're not. You're going to put up plexiglass?
Right.
I mean, are we heading there? We had foul ball plexiglass that had to be put up for baseball protection.
The netting.
Right?
Skip, no, I just think the thing is, man, for me, I don't get that, Skip. I just don't get it. And I understand, Skip, fan short for fanatic. And a lot of these people have been fans for their particular team since they were infants. Their parents were fans and their grandfather, and I get all that, Skip. But when did it become okay to be disrespectful? Because the thing is that you try to always remember that's somebody's son or that's someone's daughter. So if someone would have spit on your son or your daughter, how would you feel? If someone would have dumped popcorn on your son or your daughter, how would you feel? But man, if Trae, that had been me and I knew it, oh, it took Congress, I had the Congress and 10,000 soldiers to keep me off his ass. Okay. Because the spit on, Skip, do you understand the level of disrespect that you have to have for someone just to do that? I mean, the level of disrespect, so you just lost all respect. I got nothing for you, bro. Nothing. I disrespect you. I hate you that much. And like Russ said, it's getting more and more because what are the ramifications, Skip?
Yep.
The punishment needs to be so severe that you deter future reference. That's originally what punishment was instituted for.
Yep.
Punishment was not instituted for the perpetrator, but also to deter others from doing said acts.
Yep. I'm pretty sure the video will identify that fan in the second row, and I'm guessing they will know who possessed those tickets, and that they can ban that fan because that's complete banishment.
Or maybe they brought them. Maybe they brought somebody that they belong to somebody, and you know what I'm saying, Skip? Well, guess what? You're responsible for it, Skip. You do. That's how it works. If those are my tickets, and if I let my cousin or my family member get those 2 tickets and they act a fool, I'm responsible for those seats.
Hey, I think you're with me. That was even worse than the popcorn.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's Skip, you know, in football, you know, you get X amount of tickets, and my ticket was always in the same section. I always told them, hey, that's Shannon. Everybody know who sits in those seats. Those have been by my seats since 1990. So you're responsible. Tell my mom, hey, Mom, that's somebody's son down there playing on the field. Watch how you talk.
Okay. In football, you're talking to people around you.
Right.
At least you're restrained. You can't go over the wall.
Oh, no.
You can't reach out and touch.
But it's almost like, Skip, you know what it is? They almost know I can't whip a football player. I would never be that disrespectful to a football player. So let me try a basketball player because, you know, they're slender built. Now, if we had an incident, I hate to mention it, bring it up, but you remember in Denver, that Monday night, that snowball in the Raiders.
I thought you were going to do Bill Romanowski.
No. Okay. Where Lincoln Kenny was always trying to get up in the stands.
Yep.
But for the most part, like you said, they're so far away. And they already know, 6'6", 300 pounds. Nah, I can't beat him. Better leave him alone.
Right. I mentioned Romanowski because there was it was a launching point for a Super Bowl for your team.
Yes.
But your teammate Bill Romanowski during a Monday Night Football game spat on J.J. Stokes, who was playing for 49ers. So it's Denver 49ers Monday Night Football, and I can't remember if you won or lost.
We lost.
You lost.
Yeah, we had
and then you had some team meetings.
Yeah, we had a come together meeting, and yeah, it was the turning point of our season. It could have went the other way, but luckily enough, we had enough strong-minded veteran leadership that we righted the ship, and we.
And he apologized so profusely, you guys finally bought it.
We did.
Yes.
We did. But he and I, even after the meeting, he and I had a sit-down conversation. And I just explained to him, Romo, you have to understand the looks of that, you being white, J.J. Stokes being black, just the appearance. Forget the level of disrespect, regardless, black to black, white to white. But